out as well. Dan Skipper, an extra offensive lineman, comes in. Play action. End zone. There it is! Unbelievable! The two-point try is good, and it's Taylor Decker, part of the old guard that was saluted after the win last week. And the Lions are up by 1. What a moment for this franchise, and what a moment for the 8th-year pro Taylor Decker. This crowd is absolutely stunned. Now a flag comes in at the end, and they've thrown another. The question is, did Skipper, an offensive lineman,
So, amazingly enough, that opening clip, the Cowboys didn't lose that game. Well, of course, and of course you're reacting, how the fuck did they not lose that game? So, let me tell you about the crazy shit I just witnessed. So that offensive lineman has to signal that he's an eligible receiver, that he may be throwing the ball, and that he's open to be a receiver, so this way the defense can cover him for him, and that way it's well known to the game. You know, it'd be a dirty trick if they didn't do that. So because he didn't say he was an eligible receiver, that was a flag. So the score didn't count. So now Detroit's down by 1. So they take the yard penalty. They try again. So on the second try, Parsons, I believe, gets offsides in the neutral zone, getting them closer into the goal line, because then the defense is penalized for that. And on the third try, Goff throws to a receiver and it bounces off his hands, leaving the game for them to kick off. An onside kick to the Cowboys. The Cowboys get it. They do victory formation and they win the game by 1 point. So during those 3 tries, Detroit had 3 chances to win and essentially poop on the Cowboys. But because they didn't, and because that one guy screwed up and by saying he wasn't an eligible receiver, they could have had this game. And that's one thing that was amazing about this. And the Cowboys weren't playing their best at home stadium. So the fact that how Detroit really didn't leave the stadium with a W is really, really amazing. And this was a game I was happy to see, even though the Cowboys, the Cowboys played like shit. And the Cowboys' defensive line against the run was essentially as effective as a colander under a faucet. And the defense didn't do too well. There's one takeaway that kind of saved the game. They did make some good stops, so I shouldn't say the defense didn't do the job, but the defense, for its caliber as a team, this should be doing better. And our offense, I think Dak Prescott threw an interception, and one of their wide receivers, was it CeeDee Lamb? One of them dropped the ball into the end zone, counting as a touchback for the other team. So there went 7 points. So as a Cowboys fan, you definitely get your money's worth watching some of these games. And sometimes you get your money's worth in rage because they lose at some of the dumbest things. And Mike McCarthy's play calling, I don't agree with it. Or Jerry Jones, the team owner, makes some airheaded calls, but this game was ridiculous. So that's how the Cowboys somehow won, even though the Detroit, it should have been a W. All intents and purposes, Detroit should have won this game. But that's why it makes American football so fucking fascinating, because here we have a victory snatched just out of the jaws of defeat by an idiot who didn't signal that he was an eligible receiver. And of course, in high tense games like this in the playoffs, I can see why someone would make that mistake. And me being a shithead commentator, I shouldn't even say something like that. But yeah, that's what cost them the game. And I was sitting there oh, this game's over, man. This sucks. I just spent an hour plus watching this Cowboys game, and and then that flag came up, and I was like, oh, what? So, Cowboys got lucky. I'll say that. Even as a Cowboys fan, the Cowboys got fucking lucky. End of story. And, I wouldn't mind if the Detroit Lions would have won. I would love to see them in the Super Bowl because they haven't been to a Super Bowl or a championship for some time, and they deserve it. And plus, I like the Lions. So even if my Cowboys were to crap the bed and would have lost this game, I wouldn't have been that mad. But the Cowboys, again, are playing like the Cowboys. You never know which Cowboys team is going to show up. And they got lucky. And that's this Detroit Lions Cowboys game. And yeah, Happy New Year's. See you guys next time. And even though the NFL season's going to stop, there should be, I think the USFL League is going to be popping off in March. So I'll have to come up with some other content till March. I might play Madden here and do like Super Bowl, might be Madden 23 or Madden 24. And doing something with that, with this American football playlist. I think that could be pretty interesting, but yeah. And I just, in closing, I don't want to see the fucking Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. Sorry, if I have to hear about Taylor Swift one more time, I'm going to shit a solid cinder block. Anyways, see you next time. Take it easy, and thanks for watching.